Hi, Gary.
There you go.
Hey there.
How you doing?
Good.
Did you have a rainy weekend at your show?
It was rainy on Saturday, but Sunday was great, and it was
Oh,
the
that's
best
good.
ever show. Oh my God,
Wow, good.
really, really good.
Yeah. Go.
Hey
Hey, Zoe.
guys. Hey.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
You're doing a lot of
Yeah,
covering up.
I had a car accident.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing serious.
Pretty serious.
Oh wow.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's horrible.
Yeah, it was a little frightening, but I walked away.
Am I seeing bruising on your face?
Yep, you
Oh
are.
wow.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Wear your seatbelt. That's all I'm gonna say to everybody.
Hmm.
It was a double loop with a twist.
That's what he keeps saying. It's Simone Biles would be impressed by what I did.
Oh,
Wow. Ah.
she may have had a little bit more practice than you
I
doing all
think
of her
so.
twists.
You're right.
But Ellen stuck the landing.
Oh. So did you have your seatbelt on, Ellen?
I did, and you could tell
Okay.
by my, I don't know if you
Okay,
can
you have
see it,
bruising.
Wow.
Oh,
burns
yeah.
across my neck. But I landed and the car was on the passenger side. So I was up in the air.
Wow.
So
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
me too.
So,
Me too.
I know about the accident, but just quickly tell me what happened.
I was probably tired and I went off the side of the road and I tried to self-correct and I probably would have, except that they have in that area of Route 113, not a highly traveled road, I will admit, have a tendency to put in these short stakes like that are signposts sort of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know what they're used for, but anyway, I was turning to get back on the road and the post was in front of me and I hit it and I think it launched
Wow.
me
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
in the air. And if the post hadn't been there, I probably would have done something stupid, but I think I wouldn't have flipped the car 2 times.
Wow.
Mhm.
You must have been scared shitless.
I think so. Yeah, I did close my eyes at one moment and said, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So
Mhm.
Wow.
Uh,
then I spent yesterday at the Dartmouth Medical Center.
Ooh.
yeah, I saw your pictures, Jim. I know you're very impressed with them on
I
Facebook.
know. I was like, are you kidding me?
But you didn't put the whole story. You put pictures on, but and then you have to read all the messages to make sure
I
she's
know.
okay.
I know. He went
And
back
then,
and added that I was okay, which I was glad
but you know,
Hmm.
Well, just so you know, I'm only about 40 minutes away from Dartmouth. So if that, not that I ever, and if any of you are in this area, I'm happy to shuffle you, bring food, whatever
Well, this
is
was in
necessary.
Berkshire. Berkshire? Berkshire.
Berkshire.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you were not in Lebanon at Dartmouth in Lebanon?
Oh, I went to Lebanon, but the
Yeah.
accident happened in Berkshire. I was
Gotcha.
5 miles
Okay.
from the school I was supposed to be in.
Oh my gosh.
So didn't quite make it. So anyway, let's
Let's move on.
find out what happened and then keep a quick meeting because really, yes, that's what I need at this moment. And I think I don't even know. I'm not even going to bring up an agenda or anything, but I think the things that we were thinking about were the Zoe was working on, and I know you already sent us a copy of the budget or of the budget
Yeah, I
as
just
we
cleaned
know
it up
it.
a bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we can look at that. And then the other thing, Allison, I think is about incorporating the name.
mhm.
And I did nothing more on the stuff that I was supposed to be working on. And
Me too.
but once we have the name, hey Dee, once we have the name, and I know Dee's been working on the logo, so we want to talk about that. I can get a website. So we just need to kind of, circle the wagons on those two things. And Gary, is there anything else that you think we should be thinking
No,
about?
those were the big things.
Okay,
I think,
so the name, incorporation, right?
yeah, those gate a lot of things. So those are the ones
Yeah,
that
that
done
moves us
sooner.
along. And then the website, which would be next time, and then D, the logo. Oh, and
And
the budget.
Yeah.
Dee, will you text in the screen, if you don't mind, or me, your phone number? And I was just doodling, so I just wanted to text you these.
Yeah, that's awesome. Absolutely. You can put them in the, I can change it. You can upload them to the I put a PowerPoint or a Google slide presentation.
It's one of those, like, I'm doing it right this
Oh,
second.
that's
And
fine.
I'm without,
Where'd you put did you put it on the agenda page? Dee?
I put it in, I created a folder that says
Okay.
logos.
oh, thank
And
you.
then I put the, there's my phone number for everybody.
Yep,
Okay.
thank you.
And then I put, you could comment on it, but I can change it to everybody can,
Okay.
So what are you trying to send? Logo ideas, Zoe, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sending it to, I'm just sending something to Dee. I don't want to,
Oh,
I don't want to
okay.
be the logo person. I am not trying to,
All right, I'll
Yeah.
stay out of it. I was just curious.
yeah, no. I was just,
So, Zoe, why don't we start with the financials because we started that last time? Do you,
and there's no changes other than a cleanup because
Okay.
I just kept,
okay,
so,
Yeah.
I mean, that's short and sweet.
That
And
was
I just
basically
think-
my question, if there were any major changes since last week.
Anything that had a 0 and I didn't think we were gonna use, I just took it out. It just makes it easier to read. So
Okay.
that's
So-
my part, all done.
So now
so
it's
the
only
sheet,
4
which
lines,
was
right?
like, I was just gonna say, the sheet must be much shorter.
It is, it
okay.
is. But
Okay.
what I did is I kept the sheet, the first tab underneath is their
Sure.
original. Yep, because I want to look at those changes. And then if we ever have to add,
Yeah.
I like to have a reference.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's great.
Oh,
Okay,
Ellen, the other thing we need to talk about too is Mita. I don't know if you she's looking for, I don't know if either one
I
of
know,
us
and I
answered her
meant to
question.
work on that, but so yes, we do need to
Okay.
talk about that, yeah.
what
I
is
think
Mita
I don't know
looking
what-
for?
She got back to me on her own, and I think she was I think she seemed to be fine with that as long as we kind of like
I'm with what?
we follow
So,
through.
Allison, why don't you wait? Well, let's finish with Zoe and then we'll do
Okay,
a new topic, okay?
Yep.
So Zoe, actually, you're all done, Zoe, I think, anyway,
Yeah,
right?
I really didn't
Sorry,
have much.
I just had, Zoe, just one question. You still had
Sure.
booth fees in there? In the
Let's-
2024? In the gate fees. I thought we were gonna zero those out.
They should be zeroed.
1 second. Which is fine. I mean, I'm happy to do that. I really, I'm sorry.
Well, from an expected income standpoint for next year, we should put in at least the amount for like 70, 75.
No,
Folks,
no,
right?
that doesn't
No?
go to us. That goes to
Oh,
Charlie.
you're right. You're
So
right,
we
you're
don't,
right,
we
you're right.
don't have booth fees and we don't have gate fees.
Right.
We might the next year, but right now.
Yep.
Going
If
into
I
the
didn't
first
do
year, we
that,
don't.
Gary, I'm sorry. I
No,
intended to
no
do
worries.
that.
No worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
No,
I
Okay,
just want to make sure basically we were on the same page that
yeah, I forgot
we're all
about Charlie
assuming that
for a minute.
Charlie covers
Yeah.
takes all of that, so.
yeah. And that's the other big piece that we have to do at some point, but it actually, I have to remember, it's not like right now to
Mhm.
get with Charlie and say exactly what are you gonna charge us and that kind of stuff, but for what we need to do now, it's more about naming, incorporating, getting the easy form started. Okay, so Allison, you want to talk about Mita?
Yeah, I guess Gary and Dee and Zoe don't know about Mita, I guess. She had sent she sent an email to me and Ellen and Jim, because that's once,
We talked about it last time.
yeah, and she's just I should have put it in the folder, but she just concerned what our response is basically, I think, to the people because she's sending us potential new members that want to jury in. And then she just, talked about the reputation of the Vermont handcrafters and, how she valued that. And she wanted to make sure that we were I don't know, the way I took it, she wanted to make sure we were following through on our end, that we're going to follow through with these people, because she wasn't saving the emails, and she wanted to make sure that we
Yeah,
that we
get
would
it.
have a plan in place soon. And so I had written back to her right after I got it, after I saw it, and said that, that we were working on it basically, and that
I did too. Yeah.
yeah. And I put that, basically you said almost the same thing, that maybe we should be just reaching out to these people that since we have their information, just so they have a contact person, number one, and that telling them that it's in progress and we're working on it and we will be in touch.
So what I would think about that, and Mita's just being Mita, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
She's nitpicking on us at the moment.
Right.
So I think we need to just lower the temperature a little bit. And I think, yes, we need to have a statement for new people, but really we need to have a statement for our past members and our members. So if I were to think about which was first and which was second, the statement to members would be first, and then the statement to potential members would be second. Right. And I got that letter I started, but once we have the name and we were talking about in email conversations back and forth, I want to spiff it up again, and I'm taking a few days off, so I might actually have some time to do that this week. So I just didn't last week, obviously, but
I personally, if I were contacting Vermont Handcrafters interested in becoming a member during this transition, I would feel good if I just heard from the other side saying, we got your information, we'll be in touch as soon as we have what plan, not see it like that. Just, that's all we say to them.
And I think something exciting like, hey, we're not going away, just,
but I think we need to craft that statement. Sure. And then we need to start sending it out. Right now I have two responses that she sent to me.
Whose email, and is there an email that we can use that can be a generic, that way it's not going to Ellen and then oh, sorry, Ellen, there has to be a Gmail or
we can do an email, but once we get an easy form, we will get a nonprofit Google space. So it just makes it a little messy. I was trying to hold off on that until we got the nonprofit. So
but don't we feel like we have the name, the 802 Arts House?
We do, but we haven't incorporated and we don't have the nonprofit status. So we have to do all that work before we get an email. Because otherwise we're going to be changing it.
Sure. And when you're saying that, and I'm just clarifying, does that mean you? Does that mean Allison? Does that mean me? Is there something any of us aren't doing?
No. I think once we decide tonight that we're good with the name, because there were questions that came up in between, then we're going to, and that's what we said we would do tonight, was to decide on the incorporation. Yep. Once that goes through, as soon as I have an EIN number, I'll start the easy form for charitable 501c3. And my past life, it didn't take that long, but it's going to be weeks. It's not going to be days. Yeah. And so the other part you need to remember is Mita has sent us 2 inquiries. 1, 2. So this isn't like 50 people have reached out. And
I understand that. I understand that totally. It's just that there are 2 people that are interested in being members, and they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. That's all.
Right. But our real members don't know what's going on yet either.
Right. And I agree with Ellen that I think there's been some push-pull.
Mita's just,
and I don't understand why. Exactly.
Right. No, I understand. And I just, at some point we should reach out to the new, again, I don't think we have to say anything to them other than we've got your information and we'll be in touch. It's all we need to say to them. So they don't feel like they've been left in limbo. Any new people that she sends, that's just how I feel about it.
I think we all feel that way, Allison, but we just need to have a statement. So if somebody wants to write the statement, that's great.
Mhm.
That'll be one step forward. But I don't think at this time we can, I would not suggest that we make an email and then make another email.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
think if we can get the incorporation going and we could be a 501c3 before the November show if we just muscle through it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have more time than we're being pushed to have. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
No, and I figured that she wanted to know who the jury person was, and I didn't
Well-
give her his name because I
But
just
that's her gig, Allison. She's
But I
gonna
didn't- I
hammer on
didn't-
the fact that we're not reputable, we're not doing it the same way, and she's
Right.
gonna rag on us over that.
no, I agree with you, and I didn't,
Yeah.
but I didn't give her any of that information. I just answered her and said, you know, I'm sorry that nobody's responded to you, or whatever. You saw my response. So, anyways, I'm
kind of ironic
done with it.
concern.
I just wanted to bring it
Yeah,
up.
it is, yeah. And
Kinda
I did
ironic
respond to
concern.
her, and you responded to her, so I don't know who was supposed to respond to her.
Well, it does,
Other than-
since she addresses to all three. I just saw it and I responded. So,
And I
so
did
she,
too.
so she
Yeah.
got 2 responses. So she's happy now.
Okay,
Well, I don't
can
know about
Gary
that.
That's
speak?
not sure.
Gary,
No,
what were you
I-
saying?
That's right. I was just gonna say, it's kind of ironic considering what they've done with the jury process in the last
It's
year and a
awful.
half, and how often they've canceled them and pushed them around, and I
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah.
they've done potential new members a lot of justice with it lately.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
her comments about how Vermont Handcrafters was reputable and respectful and all those things, that's just a slam on what she thinks of us right now.
Yeah,
you-
that's,
do you-
I got that message clear too,
Yeah.
Mel. And I just, you know, again, I think for me, just being cordial about it and saying, okay, we got it. We got your emails. I told her that you were saving them, and
Could we just move on, please?
yes.
Dee,
Okay.
you,
And by the
Dee,
way,
you had your
Jim is,
hand raised.
I'm
Jim
good,
is
I'm good. I
the
just-
jury chair. Go ahead,
Right,
Dee.
and that's what I figured, he'd be the one that'd be in charge of that eventually, or not eventually, and whenever he decides to send something out to him.
Go ahead, Dee.
I was just gonna say, it doesn't matter. It was about Mita. Like, I don't know why anybody's mad when they stepped down and they decided to dissolve. Why? Well, I understand having that ownership to something that's been so long in their lives. I understand that too, but they made this choice. We didn't make it.
Right,
So
I know.
whatever. Let's,
Right.
but
I
I
know.
do agree we should move on. So what's the
But
next
they
thing?
they don't think we should be a new entity, I don't think, anyway. And Mita has this jury thing. She was our jury chair at Grandel Artworks for the first few months, and she was brutal. I'm just gonna tell you, and we had to move away. So
Hmm.
anyway, she takes it very seriously. Okay,
All right.
next thing is the name, I think.
I can
right?
try to share my screen and show you what I've come up with. I did
For the
share it with
logo?
all- Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Should we just make sure we know the name before we look at logos? I'm
Yeah.
ready to
Well-
raise my hand in a vote.
Hang on, that's not what I want to share. I didn't do
I
it
think
right.
we voted last time, Jim.
Well,
Yeah,
there
we
were
did,
still some
and-
other questions.
Well, I
Nice,
think.
nice screen. I like that.
Thank
It's
you.
very
Sorry,
clear.
I don't know where, I thought I had it pulled up here, but apparently I didn't.
Jim, I have concerns about the name, but I'm gonna stay out of it because I am in the minority, so you guys, that's fine.
I don't,
Well, you're
and we're
getting
not,
closer.
I know, I put it in here, so. I
Okay.
gotta find- Hang on, I gotta just go to my documents. I have a really funky thing that's happening with my computer lately, and let's see, it's probably right in here.
Yeah.
So
Logo ideas. Yeah.
there we go. You saw it. We're never all gonna be happy on the logo name or whatever. So we all agreed to this. So I'm not sure.
I did a little survey, but, and I
Who
don't,
did you do a survey with?
verbally with a few people that I know, including a, marketing consultant.
Oh.
I just,
You
Huh?
should have done that beforehand, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
Allison, I think that's a little off the.
well,
I mean,
well,
that's
listen to me
not
though,
okay.
no, wait a minute.
Okay,
This name was sprung on me last week at our meeting. It's the first I've seen of it when and and then we voted on it almost immediately. So and then after I walked away, I'm like, I left the name on paper. You look at it, what Dee's done is great, but you say it, and the first thing the response that I've gotten, I only did for 4 people, and the response is like, what? And then I had to explain it, what it is, and what.
Well,
and
so, you know, as a working board, you have to respect the meeting and the decisions of the meetings. If you were going to survey other people, that puts us in a very precarious situation as a board.
Okay, I didn't survey other people. I told my husband, I told a friend, I told my mother, or I told 2 friends. I just said, you know, what do you think?
Those are other people.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
So when no, but I think we need to be clear on that, because what's happening right now is Mita's emailing me and Allison. Everybody's getting different voices, and then they're answering. And usually with a board, you have, and I'm not trying to make myself more important, but there's one person who responds to everything, and that would be the chair. And I think after last meeting, that's me. So I would respectfully ask that people do not jump into conversations with other people about the work that we're doing, because I think it just makes us, I don't know, not as
disorganized.
The reason I did that is because, like I said, this was decided on very quickly last meeting.
Right, but the last meeting was the time you should have said it, or
because
whatever.
You guys are all like, yes, let's go for it. And it's like, okay, that's, you know, I hadn't had a chance.
But you said okay, Allison. So I think what I'm asking you in the future is, in anybody on this board, not just Allison, to, if somebody contacts you, please forward the email to me. And I may ask all of you what I should say. I should ask you all what I should say, but we need to have one voice. We need to start to look like we are a board of a corporation. And if we are all going out on our own to different people after a vote is taken, then we have problems. We have a lot of problems.
I don't think I did anything wrong, Ellen. I'm sorry. And I was asking for an opinion, and I didn't say, I mean, they thought I thought of that name. I didn't.
Right, but the way, Allison, I can just say the way that you represented it to us made it a bigger deal than now what you're saying.
Okay.
I took a
I
survey.
did do a survey, was the wrong thing. I asked an opinion.
But I'm just saying, when you say that, it's like, oh, gee, now you're asking a group of people, and it made it a bigger deal. If you had just said, hey, I talked to some family and friends, and this was some concerns, that sounds different than.
Okay, and I did say that, but I'm still getting jumped on about it. So I'm just telling you, but I want you to go with me.
What I'm trying to get across is that a board has a certain way that it has.
I understand that, Ellen, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. Just go for it.
Okay, so I always start, this is just my way of thinking. And so I start by just drawing out little simple things, sort of probably what you were doing. And so this is where I started. I just kind of showed you all my kind of like brainstorms and just what the house would represent. And here's more, you know, I was just trying to think of different ways to do it. But then I started thinking about what color. I did show a couple people, just if they liked it, I sent it to someone that had no idea what I was doing. She's like, what is this? And then I explained to them, and that looks like carts. And I know that's it's not going to look like that. I picked lettering off a website that's called 1001 Fonts. Are all free. So I was just kind of playing around with darks and lights and that kind of thing. And then I started with these and started thinking, well, how cool, like the one on the bottom right over here. Can you see my cursor?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the bottom right, I was thinking like bumper stickers, you know, or putting something in a circle or an oval.
Like the 802. Yeah.
You know, something, and like I said, these are not fabulous, but I started to like what I was doing with these.
I like those.
I like the breaking of the border here. I think this, you know, like one of them looks like 802 tarts. Oh, I don't know where it is, but like fixing some of these, but kind of like, I like the breaking of the border. I like kind of the off-centered house.
Left bottom
I like
one.
that one too.
This one?
Yes.
Bottom left.
Okay, so you can go into the thing and comment on which ones you like. And I
Oh,
think-
okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it, I guess. I thought I had more, but I've been like struggling with like which way to go and what to go and what kind of house. And I like the off-center houses, not the perfect
Mhm.
symmetrical things.
Yep.
I like the
and
one where the 802 sticks out a little bit and the house
you.
is at the other end.
Yeah, so you guys can go in and comment and like, this is one, keep working on this. Maybe the lettering's not hard enough. Maybe it's soft, work on the house better. Like put in whatever comments you want. And then Zoe, if you want, I'll rough up yours a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, really, it was having fun. All good.
It's all good. It's
I'm-
all good. I'm not ever offended by if
I
somebody doesn't
know,
like my
no,
ideas.
thank you, thanks.
But I think just a starting point I think is important. So if we can nail down which ones are more appealing, like
Yeah.
I don't like this part right here, that bugs me because it looks like carts. you
Right.
know?
Right.
And this looks
You want
almost
to
like
make sure that there's not a lot of space in front of A, that somebody could add an F.
or right over here, this looks like another T. So if I was going to use this, I would change this
Right.
line. So
Right.
those are the things I know are there, but I'm not opposed to you putting, making comments about
Yeah.
them. And if you don't like any of these, I can go on from there too. So
Okay.
Well, when we were talking about the name a week ago, those that you've created are basically similar to what I had in my mind's eye.
well,
So-
I knew that, Jim. I knew that. But I think that's, I think I understand what Allison is saying about the house word, but I think once we have the whole brand, I think this is going to be amazing. I think we
Yeah.
just have to, it is different. 802 Arts
Yeah.
House is different, but I think we also have to remember who we're trying to appeal to. We're not just trying to appeal to 50 and above.
Right.
We're trying to
that's
appeal. I showed
exactly-
my 24-year-old nephew and he was like, oh, that's cool, D. Like he liked the term house. And, like when Zoe and I were picking on, each other about being in the house, like that's all like current trend
Yeah,
conversations that I think will appeal to more people than just,
And the
And I
word
love-
craft is not there, which is good.
right.
and the
Zoe?
one that we looked at, the bottom left,
Yeah.
that word arts is prominent, which is nice too, because that is what we're trying to convey, is that this is art.
Yeah.
You can read it upside down or backwards. It can be 802 Arts House, or it could be House Arts 802. Do you know what I mean? Like we house the arts from the 802. So
Right.
I really like it, but so
So
I guess
I'll work on this one, but please go in and put in comments into I shared it all with you in an email. So you can go in and put comments about which ones you like, or if you don't like that font, because typically when you do a logo, you do like a sans serif and a serif. So obviously that's a serif is the arts and the sans serif is the 802 in house. But there's a plethora of different things I can do.
right. So we
Nice
just
job,
need to
thank you.
we need to continue the conversation about the name. Are we all set with the name? Because Allison, I know you have questions about it. There were questions in the email, but I think I don't know. We have to incorporate at some point.
Better sooner than later.
I can only say for myself, but I feel good. I feel good about it personally.
Okay. Gary, how about you?
I'm ready to move on.
Okay.
It's probably not what I would personally come up with, but I'm fine. I
Right.
think the name is.
I think the work comes next,
Yeah.
trying to
Exactly.
brand it. Yeah. Jim,
Go for it.
okay. D,
Yep.
Allison, are you okay?
Go for it.
Okay. All right. And I think it's great. So who wants to do the incorporating? Allison, were you going to do that?
I said I would do it, and I'd written an email a couple weeks ago that I need to, before I do that, I need an address and I need an email address.
Okay. We don't have an email address. That's great.
Does it have to stay? Does that email have to stay? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Sorry.
Well, the email has to be able to get in touch with us. Do you know what I mean?
But,
Like they
but
have.
can we change it after or no?
Or can
when
it
we
forward,
if
like,
we
can
go
that
to-
Gmail?
if we go to a nonprofit, we will have a new email address,
Okay.
because what'll happen
So-
is if we do 802, we can do this. It's okay, but if we do 802artshouse@gmail.com, it's gonna change to ellen@802artshouse.org. Do you see what I mean? It's not gonna be the same email address. So it's very easy to set up a Gmail. That's not a problem. It's the problem with changing it, on people. Go ahead,
But
Zoe.
if it's just going to if we only need it for the LCC or the incorporation or whatever we were calling it, does it really matter what it is right now?
Probably doesn't so much. And
No,
we
as
can
long
forward,
as, as
maybe we can
long as,
forward.
as long as the address that's being used remembers to get changed when the board changes, because that's how they communicate. That's what the Secretary of State has on their records as the contact email.
Yep, so you'll get an email every year, and any confirmation goes to that email too. So that would really just be the only glitch, is remembering to go in and edit at the Secretary of State part.
Right.
And I think we need to put that in a procedure or a reminder, or because I think that would be easy to forget.
But I absolutely think that we can change that with the Secretary of State as well.
Oh, we can.
I
Yeah,
have
we
to
can.
imagine we can, but we just don't
Yep.
have it now. I can make us a Gmail account if you want, just to give us something to go with, for 802 Arts House.
Mm.
Is that what we
Go
want?
for it.
Yeah.
Go for
Good
it.
idea.
So I can do that tomorrow morning. And then as far as an address goes, the way it worked in my other organization is whoever the chair was, it was their address. So that's the way they did it, just to put an address in.
And again, you can change that down the road.
Yeah,
too.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, but we are
And it
probably,
asks for members, and it asks for like an executive member, and that could all be changed, so.
right. So it's gonna ask for the secretary, the treasurer, the vice president, and president kind of thing, and then an address. So I'm okay with using my address
Yes,
on everything, everywhere, I swear, so they'll get confused, they can't find me, probably, but, or if somebody else wants to volunteer theirs.
It's fine
Let's
if it's
use-
yours. It can be
Let's
mine. I
use
don't
my
care.
address.
Oh, let's use Jim's address, that's great. So Allison, if you're gonna do the incorporation, you need that address, you got a pencil, or you want me to put it, it's 89?
Wait a minute. Okay, 89.
East Shore Road,
Mm-hmm,
South Hero,
mm-hmm.
Vermont, obviously, 05486. And that would be the quote corporate office.
Okay.
And then when you do that, I think you get, or soon, right afterwards, we'll get an EIN number.
You have to order an EIN number through the IRS.
Oh, okay.
And there might be a charge for that.
No, there's no charge for an EIN number. It's
Okay.
it's a free thing, but I can order that too.
Okay, because that'll help us in the long run.
Okay.
We need all of that before we can incorporate, before I can do the easy form for the nonprofit 501.
Yeah, I might have to order the EIN number actually before I register with the Secretary. See, I don't know if they require a social security number or an EIN number or something.
and then they'll give you a tax, oh, no, never mind, we're a 501c, never mind.
Yeah. All right. So as soon as you give me the email address,
Right,
I'll do that.
okay, sounds good.
One
And then,
step closer.
yeah, as soon as we have the name, then I can look for an economical website hosting, and we can look for the, well, should we look and see if that domain name is open? We should probably, but we could change it a little bit if we had to.
Yeah, I mean, we should look, it'll come right up.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll do
Can I
that in the
men-
morning too.
Can I go back to the logo idea just for a second?
Sure.
I just wanted to share something else, like, I'm not trying to sell you, Allison, or anybody else, but I think like we came up with a great way to introduce it is like welcome to the neighborhood when we invite people to come, and like having different either houses or apartments like that's part of the neighborhood. Like it may be the photography house or maybe the photography room, or we haven't
I
quite
love it.
figured that out, but like
Yeah.
it's going to be really fun to like, how cool would it be to get a letter that you're accepted into this and you're like, welcome to our neighborhood. Like
Yeah,
that's gonna
then you have
feel-
HOA fees.
yeah. That's what we can charge them instead. But I just
Yeah.
think it maybe it's a new concept, I think, to call something a house, but I think
Welcome to our
this is-
house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Or welcome
Well,
to our
maybe
neighborhood. You're right. Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
either
Well,
have
I-
Mr. Rogers or we can have Our House by Madness in it.
I just
That's a
Googled,
great
I just
idea.
Googled 802
Yeah,
Arts
so did I.
House
It's not registered yet.
in quotes,
Oh, good.
and
I
Google
went to
didn't
GoDaddy.
find anything on it.
Yeah, I just went to
Okay, good.
GoDaddy domain search. It's open.
Gary, Jim and Gary did it at the same time, so thank you. That's good. So the
You're
domain name
welcome.
is open.
No,
Okay.
Dee, I like all your logos, and I think the name looks great on paper. It's when you say it, it's a long.
I understand.
It's
I
wordy.
understand.
That's the only thing I was having issues with. So, and then having to explain to my mother and my husband and my friend what that meant. So I kind of was feeling why, if we have to explain what that is that really what we want? But I think if you're gonna do a whole branding thing, it will be fine. So
I think the branding thing is going to be essential, just to really put time and energy into it.
Well, last week we came up with a couple of taglines that would go underneath that logo in any publications. And I think that further explains what we're looking at, what we're looking for.
Right.
And I think it's important to add a tagline underneath it. And that's, of course, another evening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Gmail account going. I'm going to go back to that letter I wrote and reconstruct it, given the neighborhood concept and whatnot. We also need to have a statement for the people who have connected with VHC about being members. So that's another piece, but that can come out of that letter. You know what I mean? They're kind of the similar kinds of things.
I will come up with a
Allison?
statement also. I will try to come up with a statement for
A jury
prospective
statement?
juries. Yeah.
Okay. And then Allison, you're going to incorporate us as 802 Arts House.
LLC, right?
LLC. Yep. And you'll put my address in. We're looking, we want an EIN number, so we need that as we move forward. And I think that's probably it.
Has anybody ever ordered an EIN for a charitable? I've done it for trusts and estates and
You're not ordering it for a charitable, you're ordering it for the
LLC. Okay.
And when it becomes a charitable piece, that EIN is charitable.
Okay.
So that
So I
doesn't
just,
change.
all right. I just
It-
want to make sure that, because I haven't ever ordered it for, and oh yeah, I did. I did it for my own LLC. Never mind. I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done it in a while, so the lawyer for me did it on the other thing. So I
Yeah.
think we had Meta, the name incorporation, website logo. We talked about the budget, and Dee has given us a homework assignment of looking at the logos and making comment so that we can move forward. And again, maybe before next Tuesday, maybe not, we might have a website, but it just depends on how fast the incorporation goes through. Although I can actually go get that, can't I? I can go tag it and say I want that domain, and I can just start it. It doesn't depend on anything. Okay. So we
Right.
should have, for next week, we should have the website. Any questions about incorporation and logo? Jim's working on jury,
Right.
and Gary's gonna spiff up our Gantt chart and make us feel really good that we've got a lot done.
As soon as people do things, I'll fill it in.
Okay, sounds good.
So here's a question about the website.
Yep.
Is it going to be a .org?
Well, that's what I want. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the
Yeah.
trick. It can be anything, there's tons of tags on the end of them now.
Right. You can tag multiple ones so they all go to you too. So
Right,
Right.
right.
you for a few extra bucks.
Yeah,
It
I'll
can be
investigate that.
.art.
Yeah, you can have ART.
What's
Yeah,
what's the advantage of doing any of those other ones over a .com? Just curious.
You don't want a
Well,
.com. We're
company
not a
versus
.com.
you want organization, org, if
.com is
anything.
commercial.
Okay.
We're a
Alright.
nonprofit. So we
Okay.
want anything but a .com.
Okay. I'm just curious.
I got to share this real quick. So I had gone on GoDaddy to look at their domain search, and I just put in 802 Arts House, and it gives you, that .org is available, and you start scrolling down the list, it gives you other similar ones. And in one of these here, about 4 down on the list, says 802 Arts House .sucks.
Oh,
I didn't do that.
Don't get that one.
No,
So I won't, Gary, I promise you. The only other question I would have is sometimes, and I don't think it's now, but sometimes you shorten the name in the website so that people don't have to write so much. So we could do that. There's also a part of me that says when we're branding something, we kind of keep it in words people recognize. We could
it's
do
a lot shorter
to
than VermontHandcrafters.com.
Well,
Well,
it's not really.
That's right. It will get shortened. I was thinking of that too, like, because we're going to end up shortening it to something instead of always saying, are we going to like just 802 Arts or something when we're talking about Among Us, and then it becomes, like I always say VHC now. I don't say Vermont Handcrafters because it's a lot shorter.
Right.
802 Arts
So-
is available too.
What's
that?
802 Arts is available as
Okay.
a domain. So
How do people feel about that, having it be shorter in the domain name?
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't either.
Okay,
I
all
don't
right.
have an opinion either way.
Okay, so I just know we made our, gallery Grand Isle Artworks, which we have to spell every time we give it to somebody. And, in hindsight, GIAW would have been a lot easier to do.
Mhm.
But I do think feel like we have to have enough in the name to associate, you know what I mean? Like people wouldn't get it if it was just AH or 8.
Right.
AH. I think it would be too far off, but okay. So unless people have other things,
No.
I
I'm
think
so
we're
happy it took such a short period of time tonight, I have to tell you.
oh good. Me too, because I have barely been moving today. The other thing, so we're gonna meet next week. Next week is Halloween. Does that we live in the middle of a field, no one comes to our house, so we're available, but I don't know
No
about
one ever comes to our house.
no one ever
Me
does.
either.
Yep,
No.
I'm good.
You're okay?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I could cry. I don't have young kids anymore, but I'm okay.
Dee will have had her fill of kids all day
Oh,
long, and she'll be
I
ready
have
to
had
not
my
have.
fill of kids already.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Awesome. Good.
That,
Well, that was good. We accomplished things.
good. Okay. We're on our way.
Very
All
good.
right.
Good.
Okay.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you.